Wait,
Do I need to turn it off?
all right. Hello, everyone. Today we'll talk about a little bit of what we've done. We actually went in the garden a while ago. We just got out of the garden, just got that cleaned up from eating. So we'll discuss a little about our garden and also about our bees and anything else y'all want to talk about. So I hope everybody's having a good night tonight. Are you having a good night? Is that light bothering anybody?
I'm going to go ahead and turn it off.
Hey, Stivers, how are you? We're trying to get that light off. It's over there.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay.
We had to turn some lights off. They were blinding me, so I know they were blinding y'all.
Sorry.
How's everybody doing? I don't know about y'all, but we are in full garden mode. We have literally been picking our garden every night. It seems like we were picking either zucchinis or squash, or either tonight we were picking peas and beans, and really looking over our tomatoes again, trying to make sure they're coming along. So it's been kind of crazy. So we have been full on gardening. We've been watching our bees. We've been worried about them swarming too. We had some people spray a line, kind of our transportation people and also our energy. So I'm not sure if they made our bees swarm or what they were spraying. They sprayed on a lot of the dewberries and blackberries and elderberries that were on the tree line, which we were not happy about that. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's got our bees going crazy, but we've been kind of keeping an eye on them. We actually had to split one and actually put 2 swarm boxes up just in case. So far we're doing okay. But
Gossmania, we do too. We have tons of red tomatoes too that we're just waiting to turn red. Well, we go to the farmers market every Friday, and tomatoes was one of the main things that we were wanting to take to sell, and they're all still green. So
hi, Claybank. Our tomatoes, I think everybody's in our area is a little late. We had a real wet early spring. So even at our farmers market that we've been going to, usually it's stacked with tomatoes and corn, and both of those things have not really shown up too much there, other than hydroponic ones or either hothouse tomatoes. So I think everybody's is coming in a little bit later than we were wanting to. So, hey Marie, how's y'all's garden going? I watched your video, Stivers, on y'all's. It looks like y'all have a pretty good update coming on.
I was going to mention today I harvested a lot of herbs. My oregano is really good. What else did I tell you I harvested? Oregano.
I'm not sure. Did you do basil today?
No, I'm letting my basil go to seed, so I have not harvested off of any of those plants. Oregano, sage, and rosemary is what I harvested today. Everything else,
hey,
my deals, I'm letting go to seed. Basils, I'm letting go to seed. So I didn't get today as much as I usually do, but I'm letting a lot of stuff go to seed so that when it dries out, I can take those seeds and replant those and get new plants.
That's what we've tried to do this year. Our biggest thing is not only a great harvest for our garden, but really learning to save our seed more and on things that we typically wouldn't save seed on, like lettuce and carrots. A lot of our winter and spring harvest, we're trying to learn how to save seed on those. So part of sustainability is not having to buy your seed. So we have really tried to do that this year.
Miscellaneous, let's see, no, it was Stivers that said just battling the rain. Well, the crazy thing here is we went through a season where it rained and rained and rained. We had everything it was going to stop, but then it stopped, and for like 3 weeks straight, we got no rain. It was very dry and it was very hot. So the little bits of rain that we've been getting have been wonderful. So we've been very thankful for that.
Marie Lap, very slow here, pregnant mom and working men. I know we were actually just in the garden. We really needed to finish up a few more things, but we tried to get in here to.
That was me last year. My baby is 10. Jennings is 10.5 months, so that was me last year. I had him in August the 8th, so I feel you. I was very big pregnant last summer.
Sonia said it's winter in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh,
so
wow,
that's crazy. It's amazing how our seasons run versus y'all's, and how even Stivers, you were talking about the rain. We're hoping to have more rain for our pastures, and we're not that much south than Kentucky. So it's amazing how everybody gets different things. And I saw Clay Banks say something about their tomatoes. Ours are the same way. We have about 400 or 500 tomatoes probably on our vines, but
all together,
but they're really not turning red yet or any color.
We have huge ones and then little bitty cherry ones, but they're all still green. Every one of them that we planted this year is still green, and we're still getting some red tomatoes. But I know several of y'all know that those are all due. I was reading that she's due September the 8th. Those were all planted last August. So we're getting those tomatoes still, but it's just a very few because the plants are so old. But all of the new ones that we planted, they're all still green.
Wow, 9 inches over the amount of rain that we're supposed to have this time of year.
Yeah, that's
crazy. It's been crazy here because we'll either have, like Misty said, we'll either have floods or almost drought style. So we have had to water the garden just a little bit, but lately we've had a good little bit of rain, and hopefully to keep on 1 or 2 days a week have a good little sprinkle.
Yeah.
So it's been
Heather,
going good.
Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, Rocky Homestead. Other than that, our goal though has been seeds. Missy's been doing a lot of drying, and she's been doing a lot with herbs on drying, but we've been trying to collect seeds and trying to harvest more off learning sustainability with herbs and with things that we're not typical. We always have saved our butter beans or peas and those kind of items. And even we did some okra this last year, and it's doing really well. What's so funny is last year our okra did not do well. It became very hard. And we didn't get a lot of good harvest off that, but the seeds out of it are making good okra this year. So it's amazing year over year how different it is. So our goal has been sustainability with seeds. So, hey, Alderman Farms. Yes, Steph T5. That's what Misty's been trying to do a lot of. So that's what's been neat.
Parsley is my other one that I'm letting go to seed. I was telling them earlier I didn't get a huge harvest because I just did oregano, sage, and what else did I say? And rosemary. Because my parsley is going to seed. I'm letting my basil go to seed. My dill is going to seed. So I'm letting a lot of my stuff go to seed because it is a year or older. Like my parsley plants are like 3 years old. So they're getting real woody, and the stems are getting real thick. So that kind of means that they've seen their better days. So I'm letting all that stuff go to seed. So not a huge harvest, but I did get a pretty good bit.
And like I said, we're hoping to find ways to not only harvest seed and keep seed, but how long seed will last. We had one set of butterbean seeds that we had from last year. Oh, actually 2 years ago. We planted in the garden this year just to see how it would do. And to be honest with you, it's actually doing better than the newer butterbean seed that we bought. So year over year, it seems like our seed is doing better. And actually it's holding on there, even if we didn't get it all planted last year. We planted this year and it's doing just as good. But like Misty said, really our tomatoes, our indeterminate tomatoes that's in our greenhouse, they're still making, and they're really a year old. So they're doing really good. So
Justice Acres says that now there's some of their stuff is under water. I'm assuming from their several garden plants. So yeah, underwater.
We used to put our garden's real low where it sits. I don't know if y'all watched some of our videos, but it kind of sits off our one of our driveways. One thing we did this year was move our rows around and also make our rows higher, so they're draining excellent. We put in some extra ditches this year, so we were hoping to really grow it and do better without losing, because we lost a lot last year as well, just due to weather.
Mr. Tommy said they picked 35 pounds of tomatoes this evening, 98 tomatoes.
What kind of tomatoes are you growing?
That's great. We have tons and tons too, but ours are all still green. But we waited. I told Colby I don't want to take that stuff out and put it out yet, because that's when we were still having some pretty cool nights. Yeah. And I said, just keep everything in the greenhouse. I'd rather wait instead of chance it. And the temperatures make my tomatoes do crazy.
Hey, single dad. Hey, Central Florida prepper. Thank y'all for joining us. Our tomatoes. What's so neat is we got our first yellow tomatoes so far. We planted Yellow Jubilee and Sun Golds, and
grab one of those.
Yeah, the yellow Jubilee. They're a great tomato if you had never had one. But We have never grown them here. We've bought them, but we've never grown them. And I've ate several heirloom tomatoes before, but these are cool. So this is our first harvest of yellow tomatoes here. So we were really excited about that. So we're just anxious to see the rest of our tomatoes come through. We had some Tigerellas that are really close. But,
they're not very big, but they are so soft.
So we love them. Yeah.
They're real soft. They feel like they're going to be real soft and juicy.
I saw that Clay Bank talking about a different grow platform this year. That's what we tried too. We did a fully different style of growing. We did all non-GMO, all heirloom seed, all organic seed, all from MR Gardener, or 95% of it from MR Gardener. But I'll be honest with you, our corn did not do as well in this area, and our cucumbers hadn't done as well. But everything else has done really good. But
the squash hadn't done great either.
It's doing better later in the season than typical. Usually it's kind of coming through now, but we're starting to get a little bit more. Our zucchini's picking up a lot, so I'm hoping that it will keep on coming. So, we tried something different. You know, one thing is we learn year over year what works best here and what does not work best here. So this corn, we're going to go back to a different style of corn, but because the corn just did not do well this year. So.
Well, and on the downside, one of the negative things we have had happen this week, and I usually take a lot of pictures and put stuff on Facebook and Instagram, but this was very graphic, and I'm just going to dive off into.
With the chick?
Yes.
The chicken? Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I had 3 different sets of chickens that we hatched. The first 2 sets were hatched out from our incubator. And the last ones, we let a broody chicken sit on some eggs, and she hatched out 2. And one is left. We think that one was dehydrated and starved to death because the other chicks were bullying those. When we put them all together, and before we realized it, one had died. They just were not eaten. So anyway, I pulled one out, gave it its own food and water. Anyway, when I tried to incorporate it back in, I had taken the first set out and incorporated them into our biggest to our biggest chicken pen, and left the second batch in with the little babies. But I took our broody chicken that hatched the smallest chick and put it in the little pen, and I gave her plenty of eggs to sit on, thinking that she was going to just sit on her eggs, get out, eat and drink, get back on her eggs, because that's what she had been doing in the big pig pen. I mean, I keep saying pig pen. I've got the pigs on my mind.
Crazy.
No, it's called tired. But anyway, so I'd taken her out of the big chicken pen because I was thinking she was going to do what she'd always did, just stayed on her eggs. And so that was late Sunday afternoon, and I had intentions to go back out and check on the baby chick because it's only one. It was the smallest one. First thing the next morning. Well, long story short, I didn't get out there until a little after lunch and realized that broody hen had almost pegged the little chick to almost death. And I was so upset when I seen it. And I had
terrible.
I mean, y'all, I have seen the bigger chickens peck on the little ones before and take feathers off and seen some blood. But y'all, she's got a hole in the top of her head. She's got all of her feathers missing down her back. And then she's got like chunks of meat just hanging from her neck. I told Colby, I said, there's no way she's going to live. Like, there's no way. But being the nurse, my background is a nurse, and I just couldn't. I mean, honestly, she probably just needed to be killed and just put out of her misery, but I just couldn't do that. So, I took her back out and put her in another container, and I have been like a big one of those big deep containers, and I have a little light on her, and I've been swapping her into new containers every day to help keep her environments clean. And so I called the vet and run it past them and asked them what would be the best thing to do. And so I had some iodine, and I I cleaned her good every day with iodine. And then I put honey, which I thought this was very interesting because we use honey some in wound care in the nursing profession. So they suggested to use raw honey. And so since we had that, I've been covering her pretty much from the top of her head down her back. And she still may not make it, but that's been very upsetting this week. I've really hated to deal with that. So
And we're seeing what we can do with her. But on the clay bank with hugelkultur, we did our tomatoes in some hugel beds, and they've done great. We've been real pleased with those. So we've done good. Mr. Tommy, the name of those yellow tomatoes are those are yellow jubilees there. So they're a smaller tomato. So, but I see that everybody's talking about the weather. The weather has been kind of crazy this year here. But hey, so far this last few weeks we've got a little rain, and then of course we've got some sun too. So it's been good so far this week, but it has been crazy here the last few months. So
yeah, we hope that she pulls through too. I don't know. I have seen them bleeding and all of that, but when I say that there's literally chunks of meat just hanging from her neck, I mean, it's really, I would say most people probably couldn't look at that very much. I mean,
she looks bad.
It's bad.
We our chickens, we were actually going to start incubating again. We're going to try to do we are using a lot of their bedding, but we're going to try to do a little bit more permaculture, and we're going to use the chickens to go right behind the cows and also in the garden, especially as we go to fall garden. So
that's our upcoming goals.
Yeah, so we're going to have our layers, of course, but as they're pullets and as they're growing, we're going to try to grow some more. So we can incubate. We have been incubating, but we have stopped. But we're going to start back hopefully this next week, so that way they can start growing and being stronger for as we get closer to fall, as our garden starts ending. So also this year, when our garden stops, we use a lot of temporary paddocks. So we're going to actually rope off the garden area, and once everything's done with the garden, we're going to allow the cows to go in it and just eat, and then just fertilize the garden basically for that day or two, and just eat as much as they want to eat that's left, and hopefully that'll help kind of amend our soil naturally. So that's something we're looking forward to as well, and because our goal is to grow a big fall garden, but we need to heal the ground that we're in right now because we've constantly grown over there year after year. So, but anyways, it's going good. Hey, Garden Makeover, thank you for coming in.
She had a hen. Let's see, Rocky Homestead said, my Henrietta hen hatched 8 out of 8 chicks.
That's great.
Yeah, that is.
We do have a broody chicken, and then we have the incubator. But it's always cool when a chicken hatches her own chick.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
Unfortunately, I had to take the 2 out because they were in the coop where all the big chickens were coming in and out, and the other hens would come in there and get beside her to lay their eggs, even though there were tons of other boxes. And I think that they were stepping on them, even though I did notice that she was trying to be pretty protective of them. But one of them's eye had a little scratch beside it. So I went ahead and took those out and just put them in my box where when our chicks that hatch out that we incubate, I have a section that I move them into. So I just put them in there so that they wouldn't get hurt in there with all the big ones. Right now we don't have a spot that we can just put just her by herself with food and water where she would be safe from predators in the woods, dogs and foxes and all that kind of stuff. We just don't have a place for her right now.
Heather, we use chicken fertilizer. Actually, our last 2 videos, we were actually clearing out. So we'll take the bedding out after it sits. We'll usually let them go through the hay. They'll kind of forage through it and take what they want out of it, but also they're actually fertilizing it by their manure. We'll let it go through usually 2 or 3 rains and then dry out. So then we'll rake it out.
It was really, really dry Sunday, so we cleaned it out.
So once we clean it out, then we will actually put it in all our beds, and it's really helped amend the soil in 2 or 3 different beds. One thing that we've always done, we've always had gardens, in-ground gardens. But the thing about in-ground gardens, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but our garden's really big. So when we do that, it's hard to amend that size garden. So we have really enjoyed having the hugelkultur raised beds and also some pallet raised beds. And we have different style raised beds, and we've enjoyed those because you can amend those a lot easier. So for stuff like that's not corn, that's not big, not pumpkins, not watermelons, but the smaller stuff like our potatoes and our herbs and our strawberries and even some other tomatoes, we've been able to grow straight in the raised beds and been able to mend them a lot easier. So we really like that. That's something that we really did a lot.
And I'll tell you, we experimented. When I went out today to water, I checked on. Remember, I took that cup and put nothing but the chicken bedding in, and I have some basil that a farm from Australia mailed us some seeds, some basil seed, and because I was just letting mine go to seed, so I knew I wasn't going to get any. And anyway, to kind of fill in that gap, I got some basil seed and planted that, and they've grown about that tall. And for an experiment, we took the bedding and took the basil right out of once it grew up, right out of the little container, put it directly in there just to see what it would do. And it looks amazing. So from Sunday to Wednesday, it's been in straight chicken fertilizer.
Yeah, straight.
Pretty much. And we were worried about how that was going to do. So we experimented with it. I took one of my 6, you know how you have the little trays and you have the little seedlings in there. So I had all of that full. So I took one out to see what it do, and it looks amazing.
So our goal is to try to amend more with of course the manure. So our cows are doing that, of course, in their paddocks. But even with our pigs, pigs, they have one corner that they use the restroom in, and any place they're at, they kind of make a corner. Unlike cows and chickens, where they just go anywhere. Pigs are a little bit more neat, so they'll kind of go to one side. So we're going to start doing a deep bedding system there. Put hay on top of that as it goes, and then that way we can use that as well to amend the soil. So yeah.
We missed some comments.
I have no problem with Back to Eden Garden, Marie Lab. I think that's an awesome approach. For here, because it's so humid, it seems like when we tried the Back to Eden Garden, unless we just had wood chips just piled up somewhere, it seems like we almost got moldy soil versus good quality soil. Now, the hugelkultur did work for us, which is kind of a deep bedding system, almost like Back to Eden, but Back to Eden just didn't work in the South Mississippi for us. Now, if I had more wood chips, maybe, or had a different soil, but I'm in a real low area, so Back to Eden just seemed like it struggled here. But the hugelkultur did work here. Hey, Overlook, thanks for coming in.
Big issue with the fire ants. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Fire ants here too for Back to Eden as well. But not saying it wouldn't work for sure here, just for us because we're in such a wet area. It just seemed like it did not work for us. You're right, Clay Bank. Pigs are smarter. That's kind of funny, but our pigs are probably cleaner than. Yeah. Our pigs are cleaner probably than our cows and our chickens. They don't waller. They have one little waller place, and they'll walk through it every once in a while.
Our chickens stink 10 times worse than our pigs. I would be willing to say they don't even. Yeah. I don't even ever even smell them ever.
Hey, Fairy Tale, thanks for coming in.
They're awesome because they come from Alderman Farms, right?
They are awesome because they come from Alderman Farms. But you're right. It's amazing how one garden system may work for some, and one may not work for others. For us, we used heavy fertilizer, heavy compost that worked great. However, we tried doing a natural amending of soil with blood meal for our corn, and it did terrible.
Hey, Fairy Tale Creation.
It's one of those things where things work some places, things don't work some places. So,
as long as Stiver said, as long as you give them room and a good fence, pigs are great. Yeah,
that's right.
Make sure it's a fence that they can escape out of.
We had a great pig escape, so we know that. But we finally rounded them up. You know how they say herding pigs is impossible? It is. So we couldn't hurt them. But hey, they came back in finally.
They knew where they were getting fed, so because they're smart, thankfully, they come back finally. But they did not want us chasing them.
Mississippi fire ants will tote you off.
Yes,
you are correct.
Will.
You are correct. I laugh at some of the people from the north. They don't even know what a fire ant is, man. We have them every few steps.
Yeah.
Well,
pigs gone wild. They were gone wild. We had just gotten them home. They spent one night with us, and they were everywhere. It was so crazy.
I don't know if anybody else here has has bees. But as I was saying earlier, when a power company come through and sprayed our area,
we were not happy about that.
No, and not only did it kill, some natural dewberries and mulberries that were growing in our area, which doesn't make me excited, but they have the right of way, and it is what it is. But everybody says herbicides are not bad for bees. However, man, after they sprayed, we have 14 hives. 9 are here now. We have 10 here because I had to split one. But we've had 3 or 4 hives try to swarm on us right after they sprayed, either the day after or the day of or 2 days after. So we've not been happy about that. And our land sits where our garden sits is actually close to where a power line comes through of a right of way for an energy company. So we were not happy about that at all.
And I have pondered the fact of wondering if they're feeding off of that and it's making them.
They abscond. That's exactly what happened.
If it's making their reactions just crazy, or if they're seeing that their food is now dead and they're going to have to pack up and go somewhere else for food. And I mean, we're not bee experts, but at the same time, I mean, not really that we got in a debate, but there was a conversation on the Mississippi Bee Association where some people were saying that it was okay, it's not going to affect the bees, and some people were saying, no, if you look at all the research, it really will affect the bees. So I just stated our observation from what we've seen at our house. And when they come through and sprayed, lo and behold, it was no time, and they were, some of them were trying to leave. So
thanks for stopping in, Garden Makeover. Have a good night. We I don't know. It did make us happy, but at the same time, we didn't lose any of the bees. We had one swarm, but they left our hive in good shape. So out of it, we actually split another hive, which we really didn't want to, and we really didn't have the room to, but we went on and split. So now we have 10 here.
Overlook Valley says they're walking through Walmart watching this, and people are looking at them like they're crazy. Hey, thanks for being good sports.
Absolutely. I think somebody said they've never seen fire ants. God bless you. I tell you, man, you must be from up north because they're everywhere here. I can spray a fire ant bed, or I can kick them, or I can cut them with mowing, and they'll pop up the next day like 5 foot over, and they laugh at me. So it's crazy.
Katie Love, do we sell green tomatoes at the farmer's market? We have not taken any green tomatoes yet. We were still waiting on ours to get a good size. But yes, people do sell green tomatoes at the farmer's market. I had a lady laughing the other day. She was talking about how much she loved fried green tomatoes, and we do too. So
yeah.
But I don't like them when they're little. If I want a fried green tomato, I want a honking one. So we haven't pulled any yet.
I'm not crazy about fried green tomatoes. They're a little acidic for me. I'd rather just eat them red or when they're fully done. But Misty, when we can enjoy a vegetable, we decide to fry it, and somehow in the South that makes it better. I don't like them too much. But
I forgot Heather was here the day that one of the swarms went up into the tree. That huge one that went up into the tree. But yeah, we put a trap out, but they didn't go in it. So no, we didn't get to save them.
Quebec, Canada. So y'all do not have fire ants in Quebec, Canada. I need to move there.
I've been to Quebec, but it's been 20 years ago. It's been a very long time.
But our bees are doing good. I can't complain. So really, other than that, we had the updates on the garden, and then we also had we went and checked our cows at the other place, but they're doing really good. So we're excited about that. Now, the last thing I think we should talk about is our Jersey, our little Jersey. We thought was bred by our Metro bull. However, when we bought this cow, and we talked about this last live, but I really think she's going to have a calf, and she should not be calf until November. So I'm thinking she either had a date night before she got to me with another cow or something, because this cow,
she did escape.
She escaped, and they said that she was just with heifers only. But I think she had a date night or something, because she is really looking like she's going to have a calf. She might be.
Kobe went out this afternoon and checked on her and said that she was on the ground. And usually when we walk out, she's right up. But that she just really wasn't wanting to get up, and she had maybe a little bit of evidence in the back that she may be trying to go into labor. So we're gonna see.
I have a nervous tick, Mr. Tommy. It's terrible. I'm sorry. I was shaking everything. Misty, I was tapping my foot last live. Now I'm tapping my hand. So my coffee is out. She told me I better not get up and get more coffee. So now I'm stuck here with no coffee.
Yeah, it's rude to walk away from your guest.
Hey, you went and got tomatoes a while ago.
Well, so. That's because that was something exciting.
Well, I'm going to go get a tomato. But we do think she is. I mean, of course, we know she's bred, but she is just, man, she's like, our cows are gentle. However, she never lays down. Even when I walk up to her, usually she'll pop on up, but she literally just stayed on the ground. I actually had to kind of move her up. So it's one of those things where I think she is really getting close.
And she might not be. Well, it's so hard to judge right when it's time. But we are kind of seeing signs that, like we noticed a few weeks ago, I mean, she shouldn't be, her bag should not be this big. So, we're just kind of watching her. I saw something that was funny up here. Somebody said something about not ever seeing. I don't see it anymore. That they've probably never seen love bugs either. Oh man, there are seasons when love bugs will make your car black. So yes, love bugs are definitely something we've seen here in the South.
Yeah.
And there was something else. I saw Mr. Tommy say earlier that the Pratt family, they're from Michigan. We got to meet them at Deep South back in March.
Well, and then when they came here, we were laughing because I don't think he's ever saw fire ants.
Yeah, so they had seen fire ants down in the South. So yeah, that's right. I don't know what it is about why they would want to be here.
Hey, McClendon. Hey, Gentry.
And I also saw somebody, Stiver said something about the fried green tomatoes, and somebody replied, yes, fried is better. Everything fried is better. Everything.
No.
Not healthy.
I can only do so much, so.
I like fried food, but it's not healthy for
That's about the only way our kids will really enjoy their vegetables. So
okra.
Just fried.
I can't eat boiled okra, though.
It's a little slimy. I like it in gumbo. That's about the only thing.
Yeah, I can eat it in gumbo.
What is a love bug? That's probably the best question. So if you don't know what a love bug is, don't worry about it because you don't want to know.
Now, we don't know what the technical name is. We've always called them love bugs around here. But they're these two little bitty black bugs with orange on them. And they stay connected. And they fly around connected everywhere. And that's where I'm assuming the name love bug comes from. Because there's always two together. I don't think. Maybe one in like 1,000.
Thanks, Mama Mitzi, for coming by.
So, yeah, that's where they get the name love bug from, I'm sure.
Yeah. Gentry, we're going to be going to Michigan to the Pratt family homestead hootenanny again with the aldermen. So we hope to meet y'all there if y'all are going to join up there. I don't know how far you are from the Pratts, but look into it, and that way we'll try to meet up there. So it's kind of, and I don't know if it's a beetle. I really don't know what a love bug is. It's just a flying bug that gets on my nerves, and it attracts itself to your house and anything white and the door frame of your house. They try to get in, and they stink. They're not.
Making lemonade from lemons said my middle son will go into anaphylaxis from fire ants. They are the devil.
Oh my gosh.
So what that means is that's like the biggest allergic reaction that you can have, and you need an EpiPen from that, thanks to my medical knowledge. So the worst type of reaction you can have is anaphylaxis. So not good.
We hadn't had too many worms. Stiver said something about the hornworm and the tobacco worm.
I killed one when I was tying up the tomatoes the other day. A big old sucker. He was about as big as my. It was only one that I seen though. I walked through and tried to check them pretty good. Lots of little tiny ones, but one big honking one. But I got a rock and no longer existence anymore.
We hadn't had too many hornworms this year. I think last year or the year before we did in our tomatoes bath. I actually pulled off one tomato today. We were looking through our tomatoes, and there was one tomato that had a worm mark on it. But I got rid of it. But other than that, we really hadn't had worms.
It's either a new one or one I missed yesterday.
Knock on wood.
I tried to walk through and
Hey, Lone Star Living. Hey, Beaver Creek. It's a species of marsh fly found in marsh. See, there's the technical name. See, we don't know. We just call it a love bug. Thank you, Beaver Creek.
Yeah, we don't know the real name. We've always just called them love bugs.
They're terrible. They're worse. To me, they're worse.
The Gulf Coast. Yeah, we're 2 hours away from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
We're about 2 hours away. Now, I don't know if y'all have had problems, but with our, of course, we have livestock and our cows, but we've had the worst flies this year. Horse flies and just regular, what are they called? Just a small little fly. I don't know what it is, but horse fly. I can't stand horse flies, and especially
our cows can't stand them.
And I milk before daylight, but if I go 15 minutes later and it's starting to come sunrise, man, the horse flies are terrible. It's hard to keep my milk cows still. So I don't. Horse flies have been bad this year. So
I don't know if it's just because we've added the extra cattle here, but I know like Elsa, I went out earlier and was petting her, and she'll get like these knots and they bleed from where they're biting her so bad.
Yeah,
I feel so sorry for we've.
This has been the worst year so far.
We've sprayed her with apple cider vinegar. We've sprayed her with let's see, what did I put in there? Eucalyptus. We put some
natural pour on, and it works. But we're not doing that daily, I'm telling you, man, they'll tear. Especially my bull. My bull here, my little Jersey bull, gets it bad. He takes it bad. So I don't know.
Okay, ladybugs. I would be okay with ladybugs. They are actually great to have in the garden.
Right.
A lot of the beetles and things like that, aphids, right? They feed off of.
Or off the eggs, excuse me.
So, I would be actually okay with ladybugs. But stink bugs, yeah, we've had major issues here too. So
we had a lot on our peas today, but we just knock them off and keep on going. I guess.
And my blueberries, they were like all over my blueberries. They were really, really bad this year. Alderman Farm says that they've seen more horse flies than they ever have this year.
Fairy tale, we're in Lincoln County, Mississippi, so we're not. I think
about an hour south of Jackson.
About an hour south of Jackson. So
deer flies are very bad too. I'm not sure I've heard of deer flies. Do you know what deer flies are?
I don't personally. We hunt, but I just don't know what a deer fly is.
Beaver Creek. Now, they were the ones from Australia?
No, there's another thing from Australia.
Okay. Beaver Creek, where are you from? Lots of different bees swarming around our homestead. Yeah, they've been.
Hey, TC Bushcraft, thanks for coming in.
Ours have been kind of all over the place too. We have some hives that just half have left. Maybe 2 early spring that we noticed that were fully gone. Yeah, Alderman Farms, a ton of stink bugs. I mean, a ton of stink bugs.
Yeah, Wayne County's not too far from us, Fairy Tale. We're probably an hour and a half, 2 hours from there, from Hattiesburg. So we're about 2 hours from y'all. Yeah, but like our bees have done good. I can't complain. This year they've grown. Actually, we've got new queens. Again, not to get all bee nerdy on you, but we've got new queens in every hive but one. So with our new queens, they've laid a lot of bees. So we've really it's been a good and bad thing because it's we're getting a lot of bees, but at the same time, that means you got to make space for them. So, or they will swarm. So yeah, be nerdy. But I love bees. I can talk about bees all day.
But now, the bad thing
I'm allergic to them.
He gets stung with 2 sets of gloves on. They love him. He gets stung with 2 sets of gloves on.
I don't know if love is the right word.
Yeah, they do love you.
They love to sting me.
They love to sting you. That's right. So, and then the bad thing is he swells up. And I'm like, not sure you need to be messing with bees anymore, but he loves them and still goes out and does it. And Sunday, he was about to fall asleep in church because he had taken so much Benadryl.
I got stung the other day, and it's weird because in Misty laughs because I can get stung 2 or 3 times when I go into honeybees, and 1 or 2 will be fine, but I'll get
There's
stung
going
either
to be
on
at
my
least one that swells up. I mean,
if I get
like
stung on my face or on my hands or on my legs,
leg.
it's like, man, I swell up and I'm like dousing myself in Benadryl and
like if he gets stung here, then all of this is swollen.
and I can't bend my
And
wrist.
he can't bend his wrist because it's so swollen.
Yeah.
And I told him it's probably not good for you, but
yeah, I probably need an EpiPen. I'll probably Missy will find me passed out by the bee house one day. But we were splitting a hive the other day. I was splitting by myself, and usually I like to have somebody out there with me. But the other day I was fixing a hive, and man, they were going crazy. And I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be it right here. It's going to be it. So. But anyway.
Well, we hope that it doesn't come to that.
No.
But thankfully, we do have a cousin that's a nurse practitioner and a brother-in-law that's about to be a nurse practitioner. So we're gonna get him one very soon.
I need to. So it's crazy, but I love them. I really do. It's probably my favorite thing that we actually do.
He had a reaction the very first time you got stung was on his leg, and it was bad. It turned no. The first one was on your arm, and then the next one was on your leg, and they were both really bad.
I think I developed cellulitis the first time.
Yes, like
crazy.
Solid red, really hot to touch. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now I
keep telling him he needs to stop. But
I do. What's so crazy? I do have a suit. I'm a cheapskate. So if you don't know me, I'm really cheap. So the first I had a bee suit that was very thin. It was just really a joke. But I had it and had some cheap gloves, but I got tore up in it a few times. So I bought this really nice high end mesh breathing bee suit that has been great, and I even wear coveralls under it and 2 sets of gloves, and somehow they still light me up. I mean, my kids can run through there. I mean, like my girls will go dance over there by the blueberries and the bees, and they just look at them. But if I go over there, man, they light me up. So, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm the one robbing the honey, so they don't.
They don't like
they know it. I must have a different smell. So, but anyways, I love them. Though. I really do. It's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, so. They're really, really neat creatures.
You're correct, Alderman Farms. They say they smell fear. However, what's so crazy is I really don't. I don't get nervous around them. I don't fear bees. I enjoy them. I really, really do. So I can't understand. I think I just smell good. I don't know. I might just be sweet, and I don't know.
Yeah, he told me that one of the very first times he was like, "Well, they don't. Let's see. What did you say? How did you?
Well, you're mean. I'm sweet, so they don't like to bite you or sting you. They like me.
They like sweet, so they like me. That's what he said.
I think they just kamikaze me. If a bee stings you, they die. So they'll light me up though. But hey, it's okay. We robbed enough this year, so at least I don't think I'm gonna get stung anymore right now. But it's funny because I'll put on like insulated coveralls. It's 95 outside, and I've got insulated bibs on that I hunt in the winter. And like 2 sets of gloves, so they still get me though.
They still get him.
Well, I think we are going to call it a night. I hope y'all enjoy. I always love going live. I always get nervous. I'm like, who really wants to be here and watch us? Because I don't know if we have anything to say. We were trying to figure out what to talk about. So thank y'all for being here. We love being live with y'all and love answering questions. Some of the ones that watch our videos and comment, we love talking to you, but we appreciate y'all. And again, if you hadn't watched our videos, again, we give you full permission to binge watch. Take all Saturday, watch every one of them a few times over. So, no, but thank y'all for being here. Again, we'll be here every Wednesday night, the max at 8. So, if y'all have any questions, shoot them to us. We'll be glad to answer. We usually attach our Facebook and Instagram and all our videos. But again, if y'all have any questions for us, we're open books.
A really cool video coming up today. I recorded a little bit on marigolds. We talked about keeping seeds. And I'm going to show you guys, if you don't know how to get seeds from marigolds, it's very, very easy to do. So y'all stay tuned.
That's right, Steph T5. Absolutely. But again, thank y'all so much. And we hope y'all have a good night. And again, if y'all have any questions for us, please shoot them to us. Y'all have a good night.